Sometimes, even missionaries do stupid things. I went down to church to trim some of the low-hanging branches from the 3 lemon trees that were out front, obstructing parking and walking. It was only a few branches which I quickly sawed off and tossed onto the seat of my van. I knew the trash men would not pick them up, so I drove through the pueblo of Santa Ana to the countryside to look for a place to dispose of them. Outside of town on a deserted dirt road, I came upon an area where others had discarded a variety of materials. There was already a pile of tree branches, so I pulled over and added my few branches to the existing pile. They were only natural tree branches, totally biodegradable. No sooner had I finished when a police truck pulled right up behind me, and 2 officers got out, with guns. We were in the middle of nowhere. I greeted them cheerfully, but they didn't reply. They just approached with an authoritative air. I quickly realized it must be illegal to dispose of tree trimmings in this area. I apologized profusely and offered to collect the branches and take them somewhere else. Oh, it was too late for that, they said. They had caught me in the act. The officers interrogated me, frisked me, searched my van, called for backup, and threatened me for over an hour with fines and jail time for my serious offense. They tried everything to attempt to extract a bribe from me. In God's providence, I didn't have any money on me at the time, so that just wasn't going to happen. They told me how this was going to cost me thousands of pesos, and my van would be impounded. They told me I would be locked up for at least 36 hours with some very dangerous criminals. Didn't these cops have anything better to do than be harassing a guy who's just leaving a few tree branches in the middle of nowhere? I apologized again and told them to go ahead and do their duty. I was clearly in the wrong, and ignorance of the law was no excuse. I told them to go ahead and cuff me and take me in. One officer went to call on the radio, or pretend to, and I seized the opportunity to chat with his partner. Soon we were laughing and joking around, and I was even able to share the gospel with him. He told me he wasn't interested in religion or church. I told him it wasn't about religion or church, but about his relationship with God. I invited him and his family to church anyway. His partner returned and told me I had to pick up the branches and go dump them somewhere else further down the road where no one would see them. I happily complied, and they left empty-handed. Hopefully, one of them also left thinking about spiritual things. I gathered the branches and loaded them back into the van. I disposed of them in the woods where no one would ever see them. I do not recommend this as a particularly good evangelistic method. I just offer it as a personal example of how God gives us surprising opportunities to share the good news, even when we get caught red-handed. Thank you so much for listening to this true story from Memoirs of Mexico. If you enjoyed this story, or if it was a blessing to you, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. That would be a blessing to me. I upload a new true story every day. If you like to read, you can also order Memoirs of Mexico in paperback or ebook on Amazon.com. There's a link in the description. Thanks again for listening.